ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls.
You're listening to House of Cards.
Today, the game is different.
I want to gamble. Gambling is a very serious business. Is that clear?
Welcome to House of Cards. Dave Weishuttle with you here, deep from the swamps of Jersey. We got a great show coming up for you. The gaming industry in this country all starts with laws, rules, and regulations at the state level. Every state's gaming markets emerge because of the hard work of the lawmakers in the states, and that's why communication between these lawmakers allows for the gambling industry to really grow and expand in this country. And one place where the lawmakers of this country get together and talk about the issues in the gambling industry is at the National Council of Legislators from gaming states. And they are having their winter meeting January 3rd to the 6th at the Hilton Marina in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, to discuss the cutting-edge issues which will affect gaming in this country in the near future. And coming up, I'm going to speak with the president of this important organization, Delegate Shawn Fluharty from the great state of West Virginia. Delegate Fluharty is going to tell us all about the important issues that will be discussed in Fort Lauderdale this winter. So stick around. We'll be right back with House of Cards. Hey, this is Dave Weishuttle from House of Cards with your House of Cards Gaming Report for the week of December 4th, 2023. According to the American Gaming Association, the third quarter of 2023 was the best third quarter on record for the commercial gaming industry in the United States. During the quarter, the gaming industry generated $16.17 billion in revenue, which is a 6.1% increase from this time last year. This also marks the 11th straight quarter for annual growth in the commercial gaming industry in the country. ESPN Bet isn't the only thing being launched by Penn Entertainment, which announced it will also introduce an online casino product. Hollywood Online Casino will be live in 4 states with legal online casino gambling. Those states are Michigan, Pennsylvania, West Virginia, and New Jersey. Penn Entertainment launched ESPN Bet on November 14th in 17 states. And finally, a police officer in Spain's Civil Guard has been sentenced for stealing money from a crime scene to use for gambling. The unnamed officer was sentenced to 5 months in prison for taking over $9,000 during an anti-drug operation and gambled the money away playing roulette at a local casino. In addition to his 5 months in prison, the officer was disqualified from office for 10 months. Crime doesn't pay, especially when roulette is involved. Have any news or tips regarding casinos, gaming, or legislation? Send us an email at newsroom@houseofcardsradio.com and follow us on Twitter at HFC Radio. For more than 30 years, SCCG Management has set a standard of excellence unmatched in the global gaming industry. From startups to established companies, SCCG Management and its team of experienced leaders help each of their clients navigate the ever-changing, fast-moving business of gaming in all its forms. Sports betting, iGaming, esports, casino technology, SCCG Management provides a global network to connect its clients with the right strategic partners for growth on a global scale. SCCG also works with entrepreneurs, providing capital and resources to assist in the development of new and innovative products and platforms. Whether you're looking to enter the U.S. market, expand your reach to other parts of the world, or establish your business in the global gaming industry, look to SCCG Management for the guidance you need. SCCGmanagement.com. Expert solutions for strategic success.
You're listening to House of Cards. Check out our website at houseofcardsradio.com.
Welcome back to House of Cards. Dave Weishuttle with you. The gambling industry in the United States is absolutely fascinating because it's constantly expanding. Just this year alone, several states legalized sports betting and more are coming. Whether it be sports betting, fantasy sports, casinos, or iGaming, the states are constantly formulating rules for the industry. An absolutely incredible group that discusses the issue of gambling in this country is the National Council of Legislators from gaming states, which is having their winter meeting January 3rd to the 6th at the Hilton Marina in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And we're going to find out all about it because on the line we have the president of Nickel G's, Delegate Shawn Fluharty from the great state of West Virginia. Delegate Fluharty, welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate the invite.
I gotta tell you, last time we spoke, it was just before the summer meeting, and since then, you became president of the National Council of Legislators from gaming states. So, congratulations on the presidency of this great organization. For those who aren't familiar with the National Council of Legislators from gaming states, what is it, and what do you hope to accomplish with the council?
Well, what we hope to accomplish is results for states when it comes to the gaming industry, whether it's consumer protections on legislation that has been enacted. And as you know, sports betting and iGaming, many states are going back in this reflective period and trying to strengthen up their consumer protections, whether it's meeting with legislators who are in states that have not passed such legislation like sports betting and iGaming, helping them get across the finish line. I think what's unique about NCLGS is we are the only group that is comprised of the decision makers, the regulators and the legislators in particular, that have to cast the votes to get things done. And we are results driven. We are constantly trying to evolve the group. I can tell you, coming up in our winter meeting here in Fort Lauderdale, coming up January 3rd through the 6th, we'll have all the decision makers going to be there. It's right before legislative sessions kick off. And it's a very important time. As you mentioned, there's so many things going on when it comes to legislation and regulation in this country.
And I also think it's important to point out that the council isn't affiliated with any particular political group. I mean, last time you were on, it's not the blue states, it's not the red states, it's all about the green. So I think it's important. I think it's important to bring that out, and it's great to see everyone working together for this important purpose.
That's a great point, because it's one of the few things in this country that's not super partisan.
Yeah,
it's gaming industry and legislation that comes with it. I was speaking recently in Mississippi. And, as you know, they are getting ready they have a task force committee together, and they're getting ready to unveil what looks to be mobile sports betting and consumer protections that come with that. Mm-hmm. And when I was speaking on behalf of NCLGS, I had a PowerPoint presentation, and in there it said we're a nonpartisan group. And I said, it's nonpartisan, yes, but it's bipartisan, because if you look at the makeup of the board of directors and everybody that's making the decisions within NCLGS, there's no litmus test. We don't care your party affiliation. We care that you care about people, and you want to make sure that if we're going to enact legislation, that it's done the right way.
Now, as I said, you come from West Virginia, which is an absolutely amazing state. And in terms of gambling, it pretty much has it all. So I'm going to give you a chance to brag about your state for a little bit. Give us a rundown of the gaming industry of West Virginia, because it's absolutely amazing.
So we have been, I ridicule my state whenever we are always last in many things, but we have been out front on the gaming side. When it comes to sports betting, we actually passed our legislation prior to PASPA being overturned, and we waited for the courts to make their decision. And iGaming, the very next year, we followed up with iGaming legislation. iLottery is about to kick off and start running. And as we spoke about earlier, the multi-state agreement, the interstate compact involving interstate poker and the ability for progressive slot play. We are now a member of that as well. And so, West Virginia, we go by the tagline wild and wonderful. And I think that's what it comes to when you talk about the gaming industry and gambling in general. We have been out front, just like a few other states. And that's something that I can brag about, because I've been at the forefront for all of that. And look, we're doing it the right way as well. We've had great legislation. We have great leadership at West Virginia Lottery on the regulatory side, and they worked hand in hand with the legislature. And I think that's something that many states are missing out on, is having that partner that's advocating with you when you're trying to move legislation through and testifying in committee and doing all the behind the scenes things that a lot of people don't see, right? They see the finished product and when a bill gets passed, but there's a lot of work that goes into that.
I'm curious, do you think that being from a state that pretty much has all forms of gaming, I mean, you have online casinos, you have online poker, and congratulations on the multi-state internet gaming agreement. Me being from New Jersey, later on I'll call you. We should get together and do a regular poker game when all this is set up.
Sure.
It'll be a lot of fun. But you had that special insight coming from West Virginia. Does that give you a special insight on the issues in the gambling industry to help other states out when you're talking to them at the conferences?
I believe so. Look, I've been in the committee meetings. I understand the legislative side on what it looks like. More importantly, politicians care about getting back in office, right? Let's be frank about this. They care about their elections, and gaming expansion is something for many years many politicians feared. And I think that's why you're seeing a bit of a hiccup with iGaming expansion. I don't think that the message has been clear on how it's great policy, which it absolutely is great policy. I think people pump their brakes after sports betting gets passed a little bit, and the politicians like, well, I don't know if I can get on board with some more gaming expansion. But so I can relate to that. I can be in the room and say, look, I've been through this. I know what you're thinking and that you're concerned to make sure we have the right consumer protections and make sure that the legislation looks right. So you can go back to your district and tell them, look, we're eradicating the black market when it comes to iGaming and sports betting. We have consumer protections now in place that were not there before. And this is good policy for people. And by the way, it's also going to make us some money. I mean, that's the bottom line here. It's not just about making money. It's the policy aspect of it, of having something that's going to eradicate the black market, shrink it, bring revenue into the state. And when you start talking about that, every state has, the pot of money that comes in for gaming and where it goes. And I think we need to start talking about that, because in some states like West Virginia, we fund the Promise Scholarship in West Virginia in large part because of lottery revenue. Mm-hmm. And that lottery revenue comes from things like sports betting and iGaming and now iLottery. And that's very important for our young people to be able to go to in-state institutions at extremely reduced rate. And that helps retain young people. So every state has an aspect of where the gaming money goes, but it kind of falls back in the conversation. But I think part of what we're doing is helping bring that to the forefront.
Stick around. We'll be right back with more House of Cards.
With costs going up, Adam & Eve is the best deal around. With 50% off a sexy adult product at adamandeve.com. That's 50% off right now when you point the camera on your smartphone at the code on the screen. Don't get up. Just open your camera and point it at the screen. Hurry! You'll also get 10 free gifts, including free discreet shipping at checkout. This is your chance to get more for less. So scan now for 50% off plus 10 free gifts from adamandeve.com.
Drizzly makes it easy to shop a huge selection of beer, wine, and liquor from wherever I am. I just open the app, find what I want, and it's at my door in under 60 minutes.
Drizzly.
Ding dong, Drizzly.
You're listening to House of Cards.
I'm talking sick piles of money. I'm talking lay on your bed in your Vegas room, throw the money in the air, and dance as it showers down on you money. I'm talking frosted glass limo money. I'm talking big cowboy hat, silver turquoise buckle money. I'm talking gambling.
I am in love with you.
Welcome back to House of Cards. Dave Weishuttle with you. House of Cards is brought to you by BetMGM Casino. Play your favorite casino games at BetMGM Online Casino. Slots, table games, live dealer games, everything you love about Atlantic City and Vegas, all online at BetMGM. Go to BetMGM Casino, create an account using our promo code Turnpike, and become a verified player. New players get $25 free when signing up, plus a first deposit bonus up to $1,000. That's promo code Turnpike at BetMGM.com for a 100% 0% deposit match up to $1,000 plus $25 free. Must be 21 years or older to place a bet. Terms and conditions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. For those of you just joining us, I am talking with Delegate Shawn Fluharty from West Virginia, president of the National Council of Legislators from gaming states, whose winter meeting is being held January 3rd to the 6th in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. You know, I was going to ask you about it, but since you brought it up, let me ask you about iGaming, especially online casinos. As you said, it seems that states are really willing to accept sports betting within their borders, much more than online casinos. I mean, you're from West Virginia, I'm from New Jersey, and we both have online casinos. I can't turn on the television without seeing a commercial for an online casino here in Jersey. And if you look at the figures, online casinos make a ton of money, much more than sports betting does. My question is, states see the money that online casinos are making in West Virginia and New Jersey, yet they're really hesitant to allow them into their states. And I keep thinking, is New Jersey or West Virginia doing something wrong that with the online casinos that other states just don't want to get involved with? I mean, I'm getting an inferiority complex here. What are they seeing about the online casinos that they don't want? Is it they just don't want all that money? I mean, what is the chief issue here?
Well, look, I think there's multi-pronged issues here when it comes to iGaming. One being there's an education gap. We didn't have that with sports betting. When PASPA was overturned and sports betting became the talk of throughout the country, there was no really education gap. Everybody understood it. Legislators understood it. The public understood it. The public was already there, and it was not a hard sell. And I think the industry really kind of dropped the ball after that because you had sports betting come in, rushing in, multiple states jumping in right away. And I think people took it for granted that iGaming would do the same. And it's not the same type of legislation. Mm-hmm. And the education gap is there. Look, I'll tell you right now, I struggle with in committee meetings with my colleagues who can't silence their phone. Now we're telling them we're going to bring iGaming and it's available on their phone, right? So there's this education gap with the policymakers on one end. There was a bit of a gap with the public because the public wasn't really pushing it like they were for sports betting. And let's be frank about the money situation. At the time, when states are starting to look at iGaming, they were fresh with cash from the COVID pandemic. A lot of federal money was coming in. They weren't looking at legislation to fill gaps in their budgetary process, like you may see in 24 and 25 as more states are looking at the budget process and realizing there might be a bit of a downturn there. So I think it was the perfect storm for a stalemate at this point. And what I'm helping to do with NCLGS and in my role there is educate policymakers on what exactly the policy looks like and why it's good policy for them and for the state, and help bridge that education gap that I think has happened. And there's been a messaging issue. I'll be frank about it, that I think the iGaming industry took it for granted that these states would just simply flip the switch from sports betting to iGaming. It hasn't happened. But if you're correct, if you look at the revenue generation, I've said many times, sports betting's for show, iGaming's for dough, you know, like the old golf analogy. And so it's something that I think now we're reaching a point where the industry is going to have a reflective period and say, maybe we didn't go about this the right way. So let's use key messengers like NCLGS to help us get across the finish line.
Now, as I said, the council winter meeting starts on January 3rd, and you're kicking off with a topic that's been in the news a lot lately, and that is fantasy sports. And I know New York and Michigan and several other states have stopped the prop-style daily fantasy sport games that a lot of the platforms have started up. Do you think more and more states will prevent these types of fantasy prop-style games? I know Ohio is looking into it right now, but are we going to continue to see states start prohibiting them?
You know, really, it's a domino effect has started up. Yeah. That's why we want to have this conversation at NCLGS. I can tell you, since taking over as president, our goal is to evolve with the times, have real-time conversations, and there's no more real-time conversation than the fight right now between fantasy sports and current sports operators and regulators. And we're going to have a great presentation. I know the Underdog Fantasy will be part of the panel. We also have the Ohio Gaming Commission as part of the panel. And as you know, Ohio's kind of turned up the heat on this issue. Yeah. So it's a great conversation to have that we need to have out in the open so everybody can, you know, try to find a common ground on this. And sure, I think you're seeing a domino effect because regulators are starting a better job at conversations with each other. And that's a good thing. We need to have that if we want to have good consumer protection throughout the country. We need some unity. If I pass consumer protection bill in West Virginia, which borders Ohio and Pennsylvania, I'm in the Northern Panhandle, I can be there in a few minutes. If we don't have similar legislation across the board in Ohio and Pennsylvania, then it doesn't really mean a whole lot, does it?
Yeah.
So similar things are happening with this conversation. I think it's just a perfect time for it. And of all states, Florida, which has been kind of the center of a lot of controversy recently, and everything going on down there, that we're seeing sports betting now being turned on for the time being. And so that's a great location for it, January 3rd through the 6th in Fort Lauderdale. And that's going to kick us off. That's going to be our first panel. And it's a conversation that I think many people want to tune in for.
Unfortunately, one of the issues that all states have to deal with is illegal gambling, especially on offshore sites. I'm curious, there are so many states that are expanding their gambling industry, and, a lot more states are allowing sports betting. The fact that the legal gambling is expanding in this country, is that lessening the problem of illegal gambling, or is it still a major issue for states? Are still people rushing toward offshore sites, even with legal gambling now in their states?
Oh, it's definitely eradicating the black market and shrinking it exponentially. When you have a legalized, regulated market, the consumer clearly, when given that option, will go to the legalized, regulated market. Now, it's also important that you get the legislation correct. I mean, if you have, if your tax structure is not in kind of the median range there, are you going to, and on the sports betting side, is that going to hurt the lines? Is it going to make it harder for the consumer, the options that they have available to them? And there's all kinds of factors that come into having the right policy-making decisions at the end of the day. But I can tell you the numbers don't lie.
Yeah.
The numbers are there. The black market shrinks when you have a legalized, regulated market. And as I had somebody post on social media recently when I announced that we had joined the multi-state compact, you get the comments that are like, well, that's all we need is more gambling. But the reality is, and this is where legislators need to have these conversations with the public, is that these things are taking place. If you have an internet connection, you can participate in iGaming. It's just not going to be a regulated market here in the States. And the only backstop we have is legislators getting together and passing a bill, because the criminal side, the law enforcement side, they're not targeting this. They have really important things that they have to do. So it's not like that market's going away anytime soon. The only thing we have as the last defense is a regulated market that the states are passing to try to shrink the black market. And that's what the evidence shows us.
I mentioned television commercials before, and I know for a fact, working as an attorney in the gaming industry, one of the big issues in the gambling industry is advertisements. I mean, right now I'm in New Jersey, but I also have an office in Massachusetts who just started their sports betting industry, and the gaming commission up there is really focused on the issue of advertising, especially advertising in stadiums and in arenas. Do you think that's going to be a big issue in the gaming industry in the coming year, trying to figure out how much is too much advertising and what parameters a gaming business should use when advertising their product?
Absolutely. Look, we're in this reflective period, as I mentioned earlier. When we passed sports betting in West Virginia and iGaming a year after, we didn't know the influx of advertising that would come in at that time. I don't think anybody really saw it. But now what do we have? We have ESPN Bet just started.
Yeah.
So, I mean, things have evolved quickly, and the amount of advertising, I get it. It gets to me as much as does anybody else. Now, I think there are some legal issues over trying to control and regulate the amounts of advertising you're seeing. However, where the advertising is going and who they're targeting is a different animal, and how these companies are using their influencers and touts, as we've seen, to maybe manipulate the lines, and at least move the lines. We've had that happen now, and that's now a talking point, and also will be a panel at NCLGS as we look at the responsible gaming and advertising side of things. Is where do we put a cap? Where do we start regulating? What area becomes a gray area? The consumer needs to know who's talking to them, and we've seen the lines move based upon tweets that go out from representatives of certain companies that maybe the consumer doesn't know they're actually working for. So these are things in the coming years we're going to be talking about on the legislative regulatory level, because it's the reflective period we see the evidence coming in. Okay, we're 3, 4, 5 years in post-PASPA. Advertising has taken a whole different turn, but it's not just, hey, come bet here. It's, I'm going to move the needle by telling you how to bet. And that's something that's, I don't think we forecasted exactly how influential that would be.
Stick around. We'll be right back with more House of Cards.
going up, Adam and Eve is the best deal around. With 50% off a sexy adult product at adamandeve.com. That's 50% off right now when you point the camera on your smartphone at the code on the screen. Don't get up. Just open your camera and point it at the screen. Hurry. You'll also get 10 free gifts, including free discreet shipping at checkout. This is your chance to get more for less. So scan now for 50% off plus 10 free gifts from adamandeve.com.
Every 40 seconds, a kid is reported missing. Find the Children provides educational material that teaches your kids how to recognize and avoid predators. Our recovery programs are very successful in bringing kids back home to their family. You can help protect our kids and bring the missing kids home safe by donating your unwanted car, truck, SUV, or van, running or not. We guarantee you will receive the maximum tax deduction. We provide fast free pickup, usually within 24 hours. Over 2,000 kids are reported missing every day. Call now to donate your vehicle. Donate now to bring these kids home safe.
Call 800-934-2260. 800-934-2260. 800-934-2260.
You're listening to the House of Cards.
Whoa! I think we got a show.
Oh, yeah, we got a show.
We definitely got a show.
Oh, yeah, there's a show. Hey, it's all about ratings, baby, and we got them.
Welcome back to House of Cards. Dave Weishottle with you. House of Cards is brought to you by Drizzly, your online liquor store. Available in over 95 cities across North America, Drizzly offers a huge selection and competitive pricing with a side of personalized content. Now there's no need to leave the house. Get alcohol delivered in less than an hour by Drizzly. Head on over to drizzly.com and order today. And now get $5 off your first order of $20 or more when using promo code DRINK19 at checkout. Shop beer, wine, and liquor with drizzly.com. For those of you just joining us, I am talking with Delegate Shawn Fluharty from West Virginia, president of the National Council of Legislators from gaming states, whose winter meeting is being held January 3rd to the 6th in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Now, one of the topics you'll be addressing at the winter meeting is the horse racing industry, which is so great because it's such a big part of our history as a country. Where does horse racing fit into the current landscape of gambling expansion? How are states viewing horse racing now and the activity of betting on horses?
Well, I think one topic that seems to be coming up quite frequently is the fixed odds when it comes to horse racing. That's something we'll be talking about at Nickel G's. And I mean, I think they're at a tough spot right now when it comes to horse racing. Like you said, has been a staple in our country for many years, and now it's kind of taking a backseat to other forms of betting. And just like any other industry, they're going to have to evolve with the times and figure out how to keep, maintain, and capture a new market of sports bettor that's out there. And I think you're going to start seeing some interplay between the horse racing industry and your sports betting companies, and evolving with the apps and things that are available now that maybe 3, 4, 5 years ago they could have kind of been like, you know what, we've been here a long time, we're going to keep doing it our way. But now things have changed.
You know, one thing I noticed that the committee has a panel on esports. I mean, I just got back from the Casino Esport Conference in Atlantic City where I was part of a couple of panels, and one of the big issues there is betting on esports. I mean, certainly everyone thinks that it's important to formulate rules and regulations that would make sure betting on any esports is done in a responsible way. I mean, certainly those regulations should reflect an age-appropriate activity, since age seems to be really a sticking point for a lot of people when it comes to esports. I mean, whether it be the age of the participants or the age of the audience. In speaking with legislators from other states, what has been the general thought on expanding betting to esports? Is there a lot of nervousness around that, especially because of the age? Because from talking to a lot of legislators from around the country, they do seem to worry about the age of the activity.
Well, that's certainly a factor in the decision making on esports, but I think what the commonality you're going to find with legislators and regulators is that it's coming.
Yeah.
Right? This is the next wave, and you try to forecast down the road and do the best you can based upon the evidence that you have, and that you're going to need to get a regulatory structure in place because it's not going anywhere. It's only when it's becoming more popular. I think all the data backs that up. And when we're looking 5-10 years down the road, it's certainly going to have a larger role than it currently does. So you need to get on board now and start looking at the regulatory side of things. And we did that in West Virginia. Look, when we passed, we even followed up with a cleanup bill after we passed sports betting and iGaming directly related to esports.
Wow. Because
we just know it's going to be a focal point in this country years down the road. I don't participate in it. I talked about an education gap earlier with my colleagues. I think I have one when it comes to esports, but I'm doing my best to educate myself and make sure that we are making that a focal point as well at Nickel G's, because that's the goal is results oriented and knowing this is where the market's going. How do we best protect the consumer, and how do we, do it in a way that's is something that sustainability is key, regardless of what we're talking about. We don't want a situation where something is just automatically banned. And that goes back to our earlier talk, because if you just ban something, you're not really banning it. You're just banning the regulatory side of it.
Yeah.
And it's still going to take place. And at the end of the day, if the goal is to protect the consumer, that means you got to have a regulated market, whether it's esports, iGaming, iLottery, whatever it may be. In order for us to properly do it, you need a regulated market.
Now, these are only some of the topics you'll be discussing at the winter meeting of the National Council of Legislators from Gaming States being held from January 3rd to the 6th. What are some of the other topics you'll be discussing, and where are the other big topic in the gaming industry that you're going to hit?
I think what we have that you will not find at other conferences. Look, other conferences have their own models, ways of doing things, but what we will have that's going to be a rather prolonged discussion is a roundtable discussion with regulators and legislators together. And that's something you're not going to find anywhere else. I would put good money down on it that you're not going to find a similar panel where I have to give him a plug since you're representing New Jersey. David Rebuck is participating in that legislator roundtable. And so it's a great opportunity because you have, I've called him the godfather of gaming many times, but you have someone like David Rebuck who has seen it all, participated it all, and is still the leader when it comes to the regulatory side of things. And then you have legislators like myself and others who have passed the legislation that led to the regulatory structure in place. And then you're going to have another pocket over here of legislators and regulators who are either now just starting out or two, don't have anything passed. And they have an empty chalkboard and are looking to write some things down. So it's an excellent opportunity, and I think it's a unique thing that Nickel G's offers that other conferences do not.
Now, I just want to point out again that the winter meeting of the National Council of Legislators from Gaming States is going to be held from January 3rd to the 6th, and you can check out their website at nclgs.org. And I'm assuming that would be the best place to go if you wanted to register for the event. I guess it would be.
Absolutely.
Okay, and we don't have a lot of time left, but I want to ask you, what do you see as the major issues for the gambling industry in the coming year? What do you think the states will have to deal with regard to the gambling industry in 2024?
I think 2024 will be a turning year for iGaming. I think iGaming expansion will now be at the front seat. We have a majority of states already operating sports betting. The conversation is now festering more towards iGaming, the regulatory side. And as you said earlier, the revenue is just not comparable. It's just not. And if you are looking at it from a policymaker standpoint, it always comes down to one thing, and I tell this to many people when they talk about iGaming. When you talk to somebody on the street and they don't know what iGaming is, that's fine. When you talk to somebody on the street and you say, we need to raise new revenue, do you think we should raise new revenue through a new bill, or should we just raise your taxes for that new revenue? What do you think they're going to say? It's don't raise my taxes. I already pay enough taxes. I'm taxed enough. Find out new ways to raise revenue.
Yep.
And then there's this big shiny object there that does that. How many industries come into a legislative body and say, you know what? Tax us and regulate us like iGaming does.
Yeah.
It just doesn't happen. So it's getting that message across to legislators that this is great policy for consumer protection, and it raises new revenue that, look, you can go back to the drawing board all you want. You're going to have a hard time finding a piece of legislation that does that like iGaming does.
Now, I know since we last talked, are you still doing your podcast? Because I've been enjoying it a lot.
We are. John left us.
Yep.
He's leaving the Indiana legislature, so we're in a bit of a down period, but we're still going to keep him on.
Okay.
And it is coming back. Bet on Policy, baby. I got to give it a plug.
Yeah, give it a plug. Where can people download it and listen to it?
It's on most of. We're still. I'm arguing with my people now because we're not on the iPhone market yet. I'm an Android guy anyway.
Yeah, I got Android too. So
it's available on most podcast outlets that you find your favorite podcast. Bet on Policy, baby, is the podcast. Myself and Senator John Ford from Indiana, the former president of Nickel G's, and we have some frank conversations with leaders in the industry and try to do our best to educate the consumer on what's going on and just trying to talk about relevant things that are going on in the gaming industry from a legislative, regulative perspective. And that means we have to have you on soon.
Oh, okay. Hey, anytime you want. It's a great listen. I hope everyone listens to it. It's really fun. Delegate Shawn Fluharty from West Virginia, president of the National Council of Legislators from gaming states. Thank you for coming on and talking about some of the major issues facing the states with regard to gambling industry. And I want to remind everyone that the winter meeting for the National Council of Legislators from gaming states is being held from January 3rd through the 6th at the Hilton Marina in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. You can also check out their website at nclgs.org. Delegate Fluharty, thanks so much for coming on and telling us all about it. And come back soon. We love hearing from you.
Absolutely. I appreciate the time. Thanks so much.
Stick around. We'll be right back with more House of Cards.
Attention. If you owe back taxes to the IRS, watch this urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by hiring 87,000 new agents to garnish your paycheck and put liens on homes and businesses. They can even seize your bank account. The IRS calls it enforced compliance, and now they have the manpower to get you. Penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily. So call One Stop Tax Relief Shop and get the IRS off your back. They're experts in the Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks the IRS has ever offered. And no other tax shop gets you more or faster approvals. One Stop Tax Relief has resolved thousands of cases since 2014 and saved clients millions of dollars. Call now for a free consultation. Connect with tax professionals who get the IRS off your back.
Call 800-605-0688. 800-605-0688.
One Stop Tax Relief Shop.
It's a casino. People gotta win sometime.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a giant, colorful check to deposit.
Welcome to another edition of Beating the House. I'm Doug Weishall here with Dave Weishall. We're going to be crisscrossing the country, sometimes North America, sometimes even the world, talking about some of the latest jackpots that have come out of the casino and lottery industry and also the sports betting industry. Press releases, keep those coming in. We love hearing from everybody out there. Again, here at Beating the House, if it's $100,000 or more, we will be talking about it on this show. We're going to start off in Florida.
Oh, okay. We normally don't start off in, it's either Vegas or New Jersey or something like that, but Florida. Yeah.
We're going to start off at Hard Rock Holly, the Seminole Hard Rock Hollywood.
Haven't people been really hitting there? Not only sports betting, but I remember hearing about some big jackpots.
Well, you're talking about specifically the Hard Rock Hollywood?
I'm just talking about
Hard Rock.
Florida in general. Hard Rock has been pretty good these last couple of weeks.
Anything associated with the Seminole tribe seems to actually kick out a lot of jackpots.
Yeah, I know. It's a great organization. I'll tell you that.
It's a great casino state for people who don't know, and also it's becoming a great sports betting state.
Oh, Florida, yeah.
If it still holds the way it's going with the course over there. But we're going to start off with a Dragon Link slot machine progressive jackpot.
Okay.
$1.3 million on a $25 bet.
Oh, okay. But, I was in Hard Rock in Atlantic City about 2 weeks ago, and I kind of saw, I don't know if it was a Lightning Link or a Dragon Link. It's one of those lounges with all the same slot machines in it. I can't remember what slot kind of lounge that was. It was actually right next to the lobby bar. Remember, I think I pointed it out to you.
That's a Lightning Link.
That's a Lightning. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Well, same company.
Okay.
Dragon Link and Lightning
Link
from the same company. So, yeah, but every time we have a Florida jackpot, it's usually a Dragon Link jackpot because the progressives are all linked to all the other properties too. Sure. So it's always a huge amount of money, $25 bet. That's a big bet because the last couple of ones we've seen were $10, $12.50.
It's a healthy bet.
Yeah.
Would they win, though? What was that again?
$1.3 million.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay, well, certainly a good investment.
Yes. Well, $25 to get $1.3 million. Yeah, you can't argue with that one.
No. Nice move.
Yes, we're going up 95. We're going from Florida to New Jersey. We're going to Bet Rivers. We don't talk Bet Rivers too often.
Okay. I like Bet Rivers.
The casino or the sportsbook?
Both, actually. It's very good. We Bet River here in New Jersey. Bet Rivers has a sportsbook, but they also have a link to the casino too. So it's really great.
And Bet Rivers, for everyone who doesn't know, used to be Play Sugar House. Just in case anyone was wondering what happened to that brand.
There's a tie-in. The 2 weeks ago when I was in Hard Rock, Atlantic City, I had to update a sports betting app, and that sports betting app was Bet Rivers.
Yes.
So, okay. See, it all ties in together. It's a wonderful universe.
The one thing I liked about the Bet Rivers app, it's such a unique color. It stands out on your phone. It's a bright yellow color with blue lettering.
That's why I was having a tough time downloading it or updating it in Hard Rock, and I was trying to do my Bet Rivers in Hard Rock. So it was but I finally got it done in the App Store, and everything was good.
Well, we have a Cumberland County woman.
And I lost on the Jets on that one.
Of course. Didn't everybody lose on the Jets?
It would have been probably better if I didn't update the Bet Rivers one.
You're basically like every other Jet fan out there. They all lost on the
Jets.
I lost. I lose every week.
At one point, it was in play, and it was the Jets were plus 10. And I was like, can't get much worse than that.
Oh, they lost by what, 20?
I have no idea. I can't even remember. I put it out of my mind.
Right now, we've got a Cumberland County woman, chose to remain anonymous, 33-year-old. She was playing the IGT Mega Jackpot at Bet Rivers, New Jersey, playing at home on her mobile phone.
Nice.
Putting her daughter to bed. I'm assuming this was an auto spin kind of thing.
Yes, people who live in states that don't have online casinos, you can set it up for auto spins, which it's kind of dangerous if you're betting big. You just you hit the button that says 25 spins.
Yes.
And you can walk away and do whatever you want because it just goes automatically.
Well, I've actually noticed on certain games, and actually even certain online casinos, when you do the auto spin, it gives you a loss limit.
Yes,
you can set it. If you lose this much, it stops.
You can do the spin, and then you can do the loss limit, and you can whatever.
That's the responsible gambling tools coming out there.
It's very good. But and I think you should really look for casinos like that, just to You don't want it going all day or anything like that. So
you want to know why I also say this is an auto spin? She didn't realize she won until she saw the actual graphics showing up after the jackpot happened.
Oh, okay. So you're thinking it's an auto spin. We don't know for sure if it was an
according
auto
to
spin.
the release sent by Rush Street.
Okay.
She was putting her daughter to bed, didn't know she had won until she saw the screen where she saw all the little bells and whistles going off.
All right. Yeah, I've done that before. I've seen the difference in my account.
60-cent bet.
60. Okay, good.
$662,000.
Wow. Nice.
On the IGT Mega Jackpot.
I wonder what her response is because we now know her daughter was in bed, so she can't really scream out in joy unless it's the walls are pretty thick in her house. So it's
well, she says she was shocked.
Well, yeah, I would
showed it to her fiance, who didn't believe her until she showed her she showed him the account.
So
information.
They have to celebrate very quietly since their daughter's probably
Well,
sleeping.
I'm pretty sure she didn't throw the baby up in joy.
Well,
you
no,
know?
she put the baby to bed, and then she came back and see.
Well, I don't know if the baby.
I don't know if the baby ever.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they put her daughter to bed.
I don't know if the daughter ever made it to bed. You know, if it was.
Well, she said she was
putting her daughter to bed. She didn't make it to sleep. I mean.
Oh, okay.
You know, maybe she woke the kid up.
Who
knows?
I would have screamed. You know? It's amazing self-control if you didn't scream out winning $600,000.
But again, this is the reaction a lot of people probably have when you hear 60-cent bet. I didn't think I would ever win so much, especially since it was a 60-cent bet. That's a quote from the press release.
Yeah.
You don't really think that a 60-cent bet could hit that much money.
I gotta be honest with you. It's hard to compute how much you could win with a spin because it's one of those things. I've played online casinos, online slots, and the combinations I win on, I would never thought I won. And sometimes when they have a lot of the same pictures on the different lines, you think you'd win big because you see a lot of the same graphics, you don't. So I don't know how these are computed and whatever.
Yeah, look at the pay tables.
I guess. Yeah, I don't do that. So
well, we're leaving Jersey, and we're going to Nevada. Mm-hmm. And usually when you enter Nevada from one of the other states, you're taking an airplane. Your first entry here is the Harry Reid International Airport.
A lot of people have won there.
Yes, we have another winner.
That's a very good spot to play slots.
Actually, it's one of our games we mentioned several times every week. We have a $2.50 bet. Okay. Didn't say what terminal this was at, but IGT released this information. $2.50 bet playing the Wheel of Fortune double gold spin slots.
Okay.
Yeah, one of the 200 versions or so out there.
Yeah, there's a lot of them.
$347,993.85.
But that's interesting at Harry Reid. The different terminals have the different games. So,
Terminal A is one way, Terminal B. As a matter of fact,
I wonder if people have their favorite terminal of games. So, I
wish they would have said which one.
You hope you fly out of a certain terminal because you like the slot machines better than Terminal B, than Terminal C, than Terminal A.
Well, actually, if you're near a computer, anybody, if you go to YouTube,
okay.
There are people who have done walkthroughs of Terminal A versus Terminal B.
Okay.
They look different.
Well, first off, I guess if you're there early enough for your plane, I guess you can go around the airport.
Let me tell you something. If I win this, I don't care about the plane anymore.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's one of those things where, you're kind of... You have to go to the terminal where your plane is at. So, sometimes you have to make do with the terminal you're in. So this person, what, $2.50 bet and won what?
Almost $350,000.
Wow. Nice.
Yes. I don't think they made their airplane thing.
I don't know.
It's usually a 2 to 3 hour, maybe 4 hour process to get these cashed.
There's paperwork you have to fill out. And,
well, first you got to get the attendant over.
Yeah, well, it has to be verified and everything
exactly.
like that. I don't know, how streamlined that process is at Harry Reid, but it's some time afterwards. You have to sign some stuff.
Oh yeah, you're not making your flight.
You got to sign some tax documents.
Yes. Staying in Nevada, we're going to the Flamingo Las Vegas. We've got a Tuesday night or Wednesday morning, whatever you want to call it, 1 a.m. jackpot.
Okay. That's a morning. So what? Wednesday morning? Or it's
Tuesday morning. It's probably Monday night, Tuesday morning.
Okay.
1 a.m. Eastern, 1 a.m. time. I guess it's 1 a.m. local time in the press release here. Sure. Caesars Reward member was playing 3-card poker at the Flamingo Las Vegas. Hit a royal flush of clubs. Now they say in the release shortly after getting to the table. That could be within 30 minutes, maybe.
Who knows?
Maybe shorter, whatever. But he royal flush of clubs, 3-card poker. $201,855.
Wow, nice.
Doesn't say what size bet he had, though.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a mega progressive jackpot, which means it's tied into other properties for the Caesars properties.
All right.
Staying with the Caesars properties, we have a Caesars Palace. I don't want to call it a jackpot. We have an event because we have multiple jackpots here.
Oh, okay.
Yes. 6-figure jackpots within 12 hours of each other.
Okay.
Yes. We have a Wednesday night at 10 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
Caesars Reward member again.
Okay.
Landing a jackpot playing slots, $125,000.
Wow.
Terry T was visiting Las Vegas to do the Formula One race.
Oh, nice.
He wasn't in it. He was just there.
I got to figure that out. I got to tell you, there was a lot of talk about how many whales came into town, how many big spenders for the Formula One weekend. So, You know, maybe I've seen posts where maybe the casinos and the restaurants and the bars weren't that crowded. However, the people who did come really spent a lot of money because they were in the high roller rooms and things like that. So I heard the dealers made out too. Big tips.
I saw a report. The Wynn people got like $700,000 in tips. So they were okay. All the table game dealers went home with $2,000 in their pockets.
Wow, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
7 hours later, 5 a.m. on Thursday morning. The other one was Wednesday night at 10 p.m. We've got 5 a.m. on Thursday morning. Another rewards member left the casino, $100,000 after playing video poker.
Nice. Okay.
By the way, video poker always pays out, Caesars. We always have a video poker.
Okay. Well, I got hit Atlantic City for the video poker thing. So
we've got, going back over to the East Coast, we have FanDuel, Pennsylvania. This is an online win. Player won $339,000 on a single spin. One spin.
Wow.
Divine Fortune.
Wow.
That game always pays out.
I was proud of. I was playing Divine Fortune a couple days ago on the computer here, and it was I was happy. I won $30. I won $30 in one spin. I was like, oh.
I'm assuming with this on a single spin, he hit that bonus feature that has the coins going around and around and around.
That's how I won my $30.
Yep.
So
that must be what this guy did.
Yeah, but he won what? $339,000.
He won 10 times or 100 times as much.
Yeah.
I wonder how long that took to see it pan out like that. I mean, did it just hit?
I don't know.
Because I know when you're playing those bonus features, they do take a while.
Yeah, I know. It's
that might have taken a while.
It's a lot of bells and whistles on that one.
And also, he may not have even gotten to the bonus feature right away. He may have done the horses. The Pegasus with the flying wings.
I don't know.
All the strips and all that stuff.
There's a lot of activity going on.
Divine Fortune?
Divine Fortune.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
Which kind of makes it fun. So it's when we say it has all the bells and whistles, this one actually does.
Yeah,
so
it does.
It's actually fun to watch.
Actually, it's got the coins and vases.
Oh yeah.
Before we get to our one sports betting jackpot, that was very, very, very interesting. We got Jersey jackpots.
Oh, Jersey jackpots.
We got a 6 or 7 jackpots to go through.
Okay, well, I'll be quiet and let you go through it.
November 1, $100,000 on BorgataCasino.com, playing NYX's 5 Treasures. November 3rd, $105,000 on BorgataCasino.com, playing Every's Cash Machine.
Wow.
November 4th, this is a brick and mortar. We have Ocean Casino Resort player hitting $144,500.23, playing the Lock It Link game from Light & Wonder.
Ah, okay. By the way, they have my favorite, they have the food court, and I always stop there for the Chinese food. It has the most interesting name. It's called the Boardwalk. So, good General's chicken there. So,
I actually, last time I was there, I had...
I don't know what it was.
Chicken and broccoli.
Oh, okay.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad.
No, but it's pretty good.
Yeah. I like the name, Boardwalk.
Yeah, right?
And it's also in the back of the casino where they have like the little food court.
Yeah, they have a food court. They have like a food truck.
Yeah, taco truck.
A taco truck. So, yeah, no, it's pretty good food at... certainly they have the high-end food
of
in
course.
the restaurants. But
when you want something quick, they're good.
5 minutes, you eat, and you go back to tables or go back to a slot or the sports book.
Going back to our Jersey Jackpot rundown, we've got November 5th. We got 3 on November 5th.
All right.
DraftKings.com, $231,141.60, playing Every's Meltdown. DraftKings.com again.
Wow.
IGT's 10-play draw poker. Player won $160,000 there. And then at BorgataCasino.com, the online site again. This is our third one for Borgata Casino, $102,400 playing Digital's Thunderstruck Storm Chaser. By the way, if you like music when you're playing your slots, this has some of the best music I've heard for a slot machine.
Oh, okay.
November 5th, we've got $102.70, BorgataCasino.com.
Wow, what a big week for Borgata Casino.
Actually, throughout the 4 pages of all there were a lot of under $100,000 this time. There was a lot of Borgata Casino.
Can I just say, I really enjoyed the new feature they have, which is the roulette table. I guess they have a camera on an actual roulette table, which is on the gaming floor in the brick and mortar Borgata, and you're playing along with the people who are actually on the gaming floor. You're playing with them online, and you don't see the people who are playing there, but you just see the roulette wheel and the table, and it's a lot of fun.
Yes.
A lot of fun.
This was Evolution's Dynamite Riches Megaways.
Okay.
That's it for the casino side of everything. We've got a sports bet from DraftKings.
All right.
And I have to thank Ben Fox for tweeting this out because this was such a unique parlay. I'm not a big fan of same-game parlays, but this one just stood out. $166 bet, 19-leg, same-game parlay. It was plus 600,000 odds. It cashed for $996,000.
That's amazing.
Yes.
19-leg. You know what? The only way I would do a 19-leg if I got one of those bonus bets, hey, it was my birthday a couple weeks ago, and I got a $5 bet from one of the sports books. So I would, if I wanted to do a 19-leg parlay, I would do it with that $5 bet. It never even occurred to me to do a 19-leg parlay, but
what stood out to me,
that's the only way I would do a 19-leg parlay.
The reason I brought what stood out to me was there was only one bet in this entire 19-leg that focused on the overall game. Everything else was parts of the game or players. The spread alternate, L.A. Lakers, 16.5-point spread.
Wow.
Everything else was players or first half or first quarter.
Yeah.
I like the race to 25-point.
By the way, you gave me this so I can take a look at it. It's absolutely incredible. Here, take a look at this. That's what that person won on 19 legs, which is ridiculous.
I'll put it up on the screen. I got an image of it.
Absolutely incredible.
That's it for there. Let's go over to the lottery side of things. We've got Virginia Lottery, like we always do. We always seem to have a big casher there. Got Brian V. won the Cash 5 with Easy Match Jackpot, winning $1,381,071, the largest Cash 5 with Easy Match prize ever won on the Virginia Lottery. That's an online game.
Was that like 5 numbers, Cash 5?
Yes.
If that's what I'm getting at? Okay.
Last two stories real quick here. We got two Michigan lottery stories. One man won because of a store clerk error.
Okay.
He won a prize, $25,000 a year for life. Michael S. goes to Michigan every so often to go to his favorite restaurant. He's from Illinois.
Okay.
So he goes to Michigan every couple of weeks. And
must be a damn good restaurant.
That's what I'm saying. I got to find out what restaurant he goes to. But he always gets a Lucky for Life ticket. He gets like 10 or 20 draws, he said in the press release. Mm-hmm. This time, he asked for the retailer to do the ticket with 10 draws, but the retailer printed one draw with 10 lines on it. You can as many numbers as possible, that kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
And he hit.
Wow.
5 of those numbers hit for the drawing, and he won the $25,000 a year for life.
See, that's why I never complain if someone makes a mistake on my lottery ticket, because, it was meant to be,
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah.
And then the last one from Michigan Lottery as well, Wayne County man. This lottery jackpot knocked his socks off, just about.
Okay.
He was coming into his home. He bought a Fancy 5 jackpot ticket for just $1, by the way. Mm-hmm. He was coming home with his coffee. He was walking up his porch or whatever you want to call it, and he was looking at the ticket, and he looked at the results, found out that he matched all winning numbers, $472,295. He got so excited he dropped his coffee, ran into his house, out of his shoes.
Wow. It was almost like a cartoon. Like he just
that's what
his
the press release
eyes
says.
bugged out. He jumped. His shoes
that probably
were there,
happened
and he ran
too.
into the house. Huh?
Yeah,
that's what happened. Huh?
I'll call that the Warner Brothers jackpot.
Yeah, boy.
So, but no, I've never heard of that. Someone ran into the house and knocked his shoes off.
Good.
Because of the jackpot. But
Congratulations.
That's it for this week's Beating the House. Congratulations to all the winners you talked about and all the winners we didn't talk about. There's a lot more out there.
Well, that'll do it for us this week. We'll talk to you later on House of Cards.